Sandra, welcome back to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is supposed to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or just want to give this channel some like love. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So in a moment, we're going to discuss the 2 things that change your life. That's all waiting for you in a moment. But first of all, if you're new to this channel, you didn't know who the heck I am. I am Sandra Bellamy. I'm the author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity book. And yes, it's got real life asexual stories in here. I'm also the published author of this book, Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, which is all about how to manage fibromyalgia to have less pain, more energy, and feel happier like a superhero rock star. And there's also a lot of content in there about how to decrease anxiety and overcome depression. So it's a very, very good book for that. And it's autobiographical. So if you like reading stories, it's a really good read. Hello, Liam. Hi, Sandra. Great to see you. Thank you so much, Liam. Thanks for the thumbs up. I'm sorry that I haven't been able to do live chats twice this week, and that's because I was busy, very, very extremely busy. I'm getting the Asexual Meetup Mastery course description page finished and the How to Arrange a Successful Online Asexual Meetup page finished complete, and there was bits that I had to do afterwards, even after it was launched, and I'm still promoting it now because there's special offers on it. So if you haven't already got either Asexual Meetup Mastery course or How to Arrange a Successful Online Asexual Meetup course, please do go and watch my When Disaster Strikes video, and the links are down below in the description of there. I will also, after this show's finished, put them down in the description. Also, my Mac has been quite manic because I've been doing so many hours of work lately, and my Mac's been overheating, so I've had to turn it off. And I had problems with the mouse at one point. I put my old mouse back. The mouse that my dad gave me didn't work in the end. See, my old taped up mouse. And I've ordered another one from eBay, which should be quite interesting. Hello, Nick. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. So yeah, I want to thank everyone who's watched my When Disaster Strikes video, because it's getting quite a lot of thumbs up, I noticed, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day, because I know that was about an hour-long movie of my asexual story that I hadn't told before, so I really appreciate you taking the time out for that. So what 2 things can change your life? Well, this is a very interesting topic. Of course, you could argue there's tons of things that can change your life, but it comes down to 2 main sources of change, and that is something comes into your life that's new to you. So something new comes into your life, right? So this something new could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be a place, it could be an event, right? So these are basically the uncontrollables, if you like, to a certain extent. These are the things that are external, that come into your life, whether you like it or not. So it's very important you pay attention to the whether you like it or not, right? Because these are usually external sources, right? And we have to understand in life, we cannot control external sources. We can't control what's happening in the world right now, even though we wished we could. We can't control how people react to it. We can't control how others speak about it. We can't control different people's emotions. We can't control, unfortunately, some of the negative stuff that people are putting out there, just like we can't control the positive stuff that people are putting out there, right? And so we can't control other people, right? And we can't control situations that are beyond our control. Okay, so if you have an anxious personality at all, this can make you feel kind of unsafe, very, very disturbed sometimes, very nervous, very anxious, very worried, very frightened. And I know what I'm talking about because I come from an anxiety background. My anxiety is a lot less than it was. I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder level 4 years ago. And so that's a very, very high level. Level 5, I believe, is the highest. So, you know, when you can't control things in the outside world, you feel helpless. But I didn't I didn't kind of like switch on to what this meant for me, right? And how I needed to change my life. So number 2 is something different comes from within you. And I'm going to go more into that in depth in a moment. So let's stick with the first one for now, which is, something new comes into your life, right? So like I said, you can't control what happens outside, right? You can't control people's emotions, what happens in events. Obviously, you can make decisions in your life about where you're going, whether you're going outside for a walk or you're not, whether you're going to this shop, whether you're seeing that person. So these are outside things, can be in your control, as in terms of you've made the decision, but then what happens after that when other people are involved, it's out of your control again. So, but this is how change can happen in your life, because it can be things that happen, like obviously no one predicted the big virus situation that's still, threatening people's lives. No one could foresee that. Some theorists may disagree on that, but no one actually could see completely what was going to happen and has happened. We can necessarily predict it, although some people think they can. But obviously what I'm saying is it's out of our control, the situation, right? Out of the majority of the people's control. If anyone's got control of it with all the conspiracy theories in there, then there's nothing that in general that the average person can do about it. Okay, so if we just put the theorists aside and just think, it's out of our control, because unless we're the person who's got anything to do with what happened with creating that, then it's totally out of our control. There's nothing we can do for it, about what's happened. But there is something we can do, which is the way we react to it, the way which we think about it, believe about it, and the way, like I said, we react to it. So either something new comes into our life to change our life and make change happen to us, or something new comes from within us to change our life, right? Now, I used to be a very, very frightened, nervous, anxious person. I used to worry all the time. I didn't want to change anything in my life. I hated change completely. I couldn't do anything. I just didn't want to change any part of my life. I like to do the kind of the same job I like to do. Years ago, I used to like doing a 9-to-5 job, I think it was, or a 10-to-6 job. And I used to come home. I used to have the kind of life that most people have. They come home, watch TV, have some cooking. I was living with someone at the time. So, that's kind of like the normal life. And, you go along in a kind of a comfort zone, because especially if you've got an anxious personality, you feel more comfortable. Like if you don't change anything, you're familiar with it, you're used to it, right? And you think, well, I just want to stay here because I don't want to move, because, I'm safer here. I'm comforted here. Boom. That's the problem, because anyone, anything can come along and change your life. And you feel totally helpless and out of control, because change has come and happened to you, and change will inevitably come and happen to you. And what you have to do about it is you have to make change happen for you, which is what you have to do with number 2. So you have to be opposite to how you've been programmed to be. So instead of staying in your comfort zone, which isn't actually comfortable, because if you think about it, you stay the same, life changes and revolves whether we like it or not. And if you stay the same, change will happen to you. And the more changes happens to you, it's like firing like pellets at you. And you don't know where you're going, what you're doing, and you have no control. You are feeling out of control. You are more helpless, more out of control when you try and stay in your comfort zone and have things happen to you, because you're not prepared for it. You don't want change. You hate it. You can't stand it. Therefore, when change happens to you, you can't deal with it. You have to shut yourself away, shut your mind down, escape, cry, panic. This is what happens. But when you realize the second form of change happens from within you, you need to make change happen for you and be in control of your change and changes for you, your environment within you. Then you get used to change. Then when something external starts trying to change your life, you're kind of more prepared for it and equipped, because you've already gone through processes of changing yourself, adapting, growing. So it's actually better for you to take charge of your life, you to be in control, and you to push yourself out of your comfort zone. This means doing things like trying to walk a new way, for example, to the city centre that you've never walked before. Your brain will try and talk you out of this. It's programmed to protect you. It's programmed to stay in its comfort zone. So your brain will try and protect you. But what you have to do is you have to force yourself and say, no, I'm going this other way today. I choose to go this other way. I trust myself. I believe in myself. I'm going this other way. You have to force yourself. Sometimes it's a good idea if you write with the right hand to force yourself to write with the left. This is something I've done years ago. Actually, one of the counsellors I had, she told me that it looks like I was originally left-handed. And I said, not in this lifetime. As far as I know, I've always been right-handed. So maybe in another life, I was actually left-handed. Because she said that I seem to write more naturally with my left hand, which I thought was very bizarre. So yeah, I've done the test, and you should do this at home, where you literally try and write with the opposite hand of what you are, what you're brought up to write with. It's very interesting, because what you're doing is you'll challenge your brain to try something different that's more in a safer, controlled environment, like a pen, right? If you're sat at home on your own and you've got a pen, there's less chance of having any issues, problems, or things going wrong with a pen in your own home just by trying to write in your own hand with no one here. There's no one to call you names, no one to humiliate you, no one to say you're weird or strange if you try something different in your own home. But what you have to do is you have to get out of your comfort zone and bit by bit try different stuff that's more adventurous. Obviously, if you go a different way to work or to the town, city centre or whatever, then, you're more susceptible to thinking twice about it, because you're like, oh, but what if there's danger there? Obviously, I'm not going to tell you, if for example, there's people who are dangerous people in a certain house, like druggies or something, I'm not going to tell you to go that way and go and do that. If there's life-threatening situations in certain areas, like in my city, for example, there's certain places that, that you try and avoid more, like where, but I still have to go past houses. I mean, where I live, the houses can be great. That you've got one house that is kind of a druggy house, and I still have to go past there anyway. I'm not going to live in fear. I just make sure, that they're indoors or whatever, or I keep away from them. I can walk across the other side of the road if I need to, But obviously, if there's immediate danger, you don't go there. But at the end of the day, you could end up walking a better way to work, walking a nicer, pleasant way. You could meet more nice people, because our mind's kind of programmed to think negatively, where we need to switch it around to thinking positively. But you either have change happen to you, or you make change happen for you. And actually, the second option is the best option, because the more you start to make change happen for you, the more that you're not like ruffled up so much and shocked when things happen that you're not used to. Because I've got into the habit for years now of changing my life, constantly changing, adapting, and changing, adapting, and I'm actually doing that more and more lately. That then becomes my comfort zone, because I'm pushing myself out of my original comfort zone into another comfort zone. So I'm more comfortable now with change, right? I've got rid of loads of domains that I've had for absolute years of my life. And now I'm just like, let's get rid of this domain. If it's not making me any money, it's not something I'm currently doing, what's the point in keeping it out? Because it's not doing anything. It's just sat there and I'm just paying for it year after year. Obviously, I'll keep my Asexual brands, any money I make from asexual stuff usually just goes back into paying for my website's domains. I'm not rich for asexual stuff at all. Basically the money that I get, a bit of money I get back from my books, I put back into like the website and stuff like that. Just like basically, but I actually spend more money usually out than I get back sometimes. So it's, I'm not doing asexual stuff to profit or anything. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because everyone has to live and eat. But, I'm saying it's just going in. So, even the asexual courses, if you buy in the it just pays for my web hosting domains and stuff like that, So it's really important that you do make change happen for you rather than, letting it happen to you. Because once you start to create change within yourself, you realize that you have the ultimate control and power, because like I said, we can't change other people's emotions or what they're going to say to us. We don't know, right? So we have to be so super strong within ourselves, which takes time. It's like practice. I still need to practice this, it's something I practice ongoing, being strong within myself. So if someone says something to me, or someone does something that maybe doesn't feel so good to me, then I can just take time out for me and I can get back to being happy again, And, when you make change happen for you, you're so much more in control of your life. You're pushing change, you're pushing innovation. Hi, Lewis, nice to see you. Lots of love. And when you push this innovation on yourself, when you're constantly trying to change yourself, you get so used to it. It's like, like say you're out of shape and you start going to the gym and you might do a few exercises, then you do a few more exercises, then you increase the repetitions, right? That's how you have to be with change. You have to do a little bit of change, then do a bit more change, then do a bit more change until you get so used to change that you can be adaptable to every type of situation. And you should be happy within yourself. So you should be making change happen for yourself as much as possible in a very positive way. And like I don't watch TV. I went on my entrepreneurial journey. It started in 2012, and I learned in the seminars, people are just wasting like 3, 4, 5 hours of their life away after work watching TV when they could be actually writing books or doing training courses or taking a course themselves to develop and grow themselves, right? And to enhance their skills and their life experience and stuff, rather than wasting it away just on TV. I mean, I'm not saying there's no place for any programs, a bit of entertainment now and again is fine, but like watching TV endlessly, it's not actually developing and growing you as a person. It's not changing the world. It's not changing your life. It's not helping other people. A lot of the time people need a life purpose as well, right? And the only way you can find your life purpose is by making it your life purpose to find your life purpose. And this is like, there's lots of people who are like, oh, I don't know what to do with my life, so I just sit and watch TV or play video games. And that's not going to get you very far in life unless you just want to die having done that. You know what I mean? That you have to be doing something else other than that to feel more fulfilled and more happy. And the reason I'm saying this is because I get a lot of people, particularly asexuals, who are very depressed or anxious, and and they can't see that they're doing much with their life. But you have to find your purpose. You might have several purposes in life. You have to find a passion, something that really interests you, something that usually helps other people, something that makes you feel good, and do it over and over again, and all this requires you to do is to change bad habits, patterns of behavior that you have grown into, right? I remember like years ago, I was always used to using the right side of my body, the right side of my hand, my legs, like when I was very conscious it was all to do with the right hand, like I said. But when I was doing skipping, because I had to start doing skipping because I was told to do that at school, but outside of school for exercise, right? I remember thinking that I don't really use my left hand, so that's when I started using my left hand more. But we have to break bad habits and patterns, but we have to do it ourselves. Because once we do things for ourselves and we break patterns, we break habits, we are then used to change. So change doesn't seem a big deal anymore. We can become more detached from things. Now I've got rid of some domains. I just kind of keep wanting to get rid of domains. I'm like, no, don't need that one, out it goes. No, don't need that one, out it goes. It's just sat there doing nothing. And years ago, I had all this quirky family. I had this quirky family of domains. So I kind of built my empire of quirkiness before I actually, this is before I started doing asexual stuff, because I was known online as quirky. I'm still quirky now. Quirky Books is my publishing company, in case you didn't know. So obviously I'll be keeping my domains for my publishing company. But I realized, with all these quirky stuff, I don't need stuff that doesn't work. I am naturally quirky. My publishing imprint's called Quirky Books, so it'll always be part of me anyway. And I realized that I don't need all these domains, I've still got the Twitter and Facebook accounts, because actually I get more people connecting with me through Facebook and Twitter than the websites. And then I can just use my main sandrabellamy.com site for most of these other sites to go through. So, any type of thing where it's business or emotional, or whether it's life skills, it's good to make change happen for you, so you are in control of the change. Because once you do that and you feel like you can adapt and grow and develop, and you're used to change, when challenges like the big virus situation come along, a lot of people can't deal with this because they're not used to change. They're used to doing the same job, working the same pattern, doing the same things. And it's like, bam, it's disrupted, especially when it initially happened. And people are just like freaking out. And also a lot of people value success by money, right? So if people are not making tons of money anymore, they are then becoming really unhappy because they value life based on money, right? Whereas people who value happiness based on pure like being thankful and grateful for everything you've got now in life, being really truly happy with the little things in life, you're far more likely to feel better and happier now. Because, you know, yes, I'd like to make more money, but at the end of the day, I don't associate happiness with money. I can be happy just as long as I've got food in my belly, roof over my head, nice friends, and just living my, you know, life, being happy, doing different projects, writing and stuff. I'm really happy. Do you know what I mean? Liam, love your quirky personality. Thank you, Liam, so much. Thanks for the thumbs up. I really love you for that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I've missed actually being on this channel because I noticed a couple of the nights I missed out, and I'm like, I've got to get back to live streaming. I'm missing my people here. I'm missing my tribe, you know? And you know, like I'd always wanted to like kind of be in the media, you know, and kind of like YouTube is my media thing. I just love YouTubing. I love being live. And again, that's about making change happen for you. You know, if you saw one of my videos years ago, you'll see I'm a bit nervous on camera, whereas now I don't really care. I'm not really nervous. Do you know what I mean? I'm just natural. I work with the camera. It's like a part of me and who I am. But that's what I'm saying about change. You know, it's very, very important, you know, that change either is external sources that happens to you, or you make change happen for you. And once you start to take control of your life and make change happen for you, you realize that life is so much better. It's actually easier in some ways as well as harder. But the hard things are challenges. So when you go make change happen for you, right, you have to understand there will be challenges, there will be difficulties. Life will not be smooth. Life isn't meant to be smooth. That's another thing that no one taught me as a kid. Life is not meant to be smooth, right? And when you grow up as an adult and you think life is meant to be this smooth ride and everything's supposed to go well and things don't, then you start beating yourself up and you start being very upset with yourself, very angry with yourself, and disheartened and down on yourself for no reason, because life isn't meant to be smooth. Life's meant to be up, down, just like light and dark contrast, so do up and downs, right? So you have to be comfortable with change, and you have to be comfortable knowing that the ride of life is not going to be plain sailing. It's going to be like a roller coaster. But once you start making change happen for you and you instigate the change, you'll notice that you get used to riding on the waves, and that you get used to like, oh, that didn't go right, let's go up here now, let's try this. Oh, that didn't go right, let's try that, you know. And you get used to trying different things. And sometimes that's what you have to do in life, is trial and error. So instead of being afraid and fearful of trying new things because you don't know what the outcome's going to be, you have to be happy that you've made a decision, that you've gone for it, that you've tried your best. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You learn something, you grow, and you move on to something else. Or if it works, you stay doing more of the same thing, right? Because it's working. But if something's not working, you need to fix it. There's no point in sitting there saying, I'm not happy with the situation. You have to ask yourself, how can I do something about this? How can I improve my life? How can I change my life? What can I do? And instead of just looking at a theory of it, you need to take action. And so many people in their life do not take any action, right? Thanks for the thumbs up. You know, like life is sometimes a pain, Liam says. Yeah. I mean, life can be a pain and life is a pain sometimes. But what we have to realize, and what I think now, is everything happens for a reason. Because if you think everything that's up or down happens for a reason. Everything that's down's got to come up. So if you're having a down day, you're having down times, it's got to go back up eventually, because the law of averages states that, you know, that you can't be in a downward spiral forever in a day. It's got to go up at some point. I know if you suffer with depression, it's kind of like a downward spiral a lot of the time. I do understand that. But, you know, once you start making change happen for you, and you think everything happens for a reason, it doesn't matter what happens, because everything is for the greater good. So I have the attitude now that everything happens for a reason. Like this year, during COVID, I have had the most productive year ever in my life for a very long time in terms of the skills I've learned. Like, I posted in my Asexual Business Gurus and Entrepreneurs group about, there was a video from Brendan Burchard. He's a entrepreneur I follow. I've got some of his courses and books. And it was like how to finish the year off great in 2018. And this guy goes, it was a really old post. And I said, yeah, it needs updating for 2020. I said, yeah, but I think a lot of what Brendan teaches is still relevant to today. And he agreed with that. And I said, I said, I don't know what he's probably not going to bring out the end of the year until further on in the year. And he replied saying, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you said about the end of 2020. Well, for me, I don't actually want 2020 to end, right? I might want, of course I want the virus to stop, but actually the year is very, very good because I've had my most productive year in terms of learning new skills. My level of learning has gone through the roof. And I'm really proud of myself. I mean, it took me 6 months to create Asexual Meetup Mastery, right? I actually started filming for Asexual Meetup Mastery nearly a year ago in September 2019. It's now August 2020, right? That is a long time. That's nearly a year of my life, So I did pretty much the majority of it within 6 months, but then I've had to learn the skills to do the description, learn the skills to do the page, because the software I use is not a proper page builder. I've had to try and do the right wording. I've had to try and create bullets. I mean, even if you go to the Asexual Meetup Mastery page, you'll see there's asexual flag bullets. Now, you can't get normal bullets, like bullet points that are in flags. I've had to adapt that because I couldn't even copy and paste from a Word document into the software I use. It wouldn't work. So I had to find out how to do that for myself. Every little bit you see on there, and that takes a lot of time, energy and effort, but any change is worth it, So even if you're trying to create change in your life and what's happening is it's taking you a very long time to create change, things are slow moving, you feel like you're a snail. Because I feel, honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm a snail, right? I feel like, I'm just doing things so slow. But you have to understand that everyone learns differently. Everyone goes at their own pace. And when you make change happen for you and you're trying to change yourself, you have to give yourself some slack, cut yourself some slack because, it's hard creating change for yourself in your life. It's hard trying to change your life, but it's well worth it because the journey, and that's what I would say of anyone, life is a journey and it's all about enjoying the journey. And when people say that, I didn't used to know what they mean, but now I do. So for example, if your goal was to make X amount of money, for example, in 3 months and you didn't make it, you should enjoy the process of getting to learn the skills in order to make that money more than actually the money itself. Because if you put your happiness in money, that is not going to bring you happiness. So happiness is going to come from improving yourself, improving your self-esteem and improving your life skills. Do you see what I mean? So it's very, very important, whatever goal you have in life, to not beat yourself up if you don't achieve it or don't achieve it however you want it, because at the end of the day, at least you tried. And the reason we don't make change happen for us a lot of the time is when we get too scared that what if things go wrong? What if we make the wrong decision? And a lot of this can stem from past conditioning, like especially if we have parents or teachers or friends in the past that have frowned upon us if we've made any decisions at all, if we made wrong decisions, or if we've done something that they don't agree with. But we have to understand we are not them. They are not us. We can't lead their life. They can't lead our life. We have to learn, develop and grow for ourselves. And like I said, I don't believe now that there's no reason for anything. I believe everything happens for reason. So I believe like I'm on a journey of discovery my whole life. And I think that's how you have to treat life, as a journey of discovery. Right, discovering stuff about yourself. And like, I have known skills now that I have never ever known previously. I've learned so much this year on how to create certain web pages, like how to do things on the checkout, how to a lot of website stuff, video editing. Now I'm even more quicker at doing video editing. I mean, the amount of hours of footage the Asexual Meetup Mastery had, and the video I created, when disaster strikes, that video, it took me absolutely hours to like record and edit it, like recording. I mean, I had so many videos, like for like certain parts of that video, there's something like 156 video clips just for one bit of footage, right? And I had to trawl through all those clips to get to the right ones to make it into a, you know, like nearly an hour-long movie. And this is like one set of clips. I had about 4 lots of those clips. Sometimes it was like 200 and something clips of video. You know, I'm doing it in a day, like over 200 clips of videos in a day, right? It took a lot of time. Life. I see life as a terminal illness with only one cure. I have no goals in life. I see life as a terminal illness with only one cure. I have no goals in life. Well, you have to have goals and something to work towards, Liam. If you've got no goals in life, you have to change that. This is a perfect video for you, because you have to realise if you haven't got goals, it's no one's responsibility to give you goals. It's your responsibility to take charge of life and create goals for yourself without judging yourself and without listening to the judgment of others, which is very hard to do. But that's what you need to do. You need to give yourself some life purpose, right? When you have goals to work towards, it gives you hope, dream, and vision for a brighter future. And striving towards those goals is what should be making you happy. It's the journey of discovery. Like, since I found out I was asexual in 2014, I have changed dramatically in lots of ways, you know, and I've learned so many skills. And that's why I'm very patient with what I do. Some people are not patient. They're like, I want this and I want it now. I haven't got it. I'm going to give up. I don't give up. Even if it takes me 7, 10, whatever years, I won't give up. It's kind of like wired into me to keep going, because I would be bored sat at home watching TV and stuff. I don't mind watching some films. I like watching movies, as you know. I do reviews on here. But you know what I mean? You in order to have life purpose, you need to have goals, ambitions, and dreams. You need to create some. If you've got nothing for yourself, if you're fed up with yourself and life, go and get a goal that helps other people. Volunteer in a charity shop, for example. Volunteer to go and help the elderly, for example. Volunteer to go and do someone's gardening, for example. Volunteer to do something free for someone because you just feel better for doing it, you know? Go and have goals that involve other people if you can't stomach or can't get the courage to do a goal for yourself, you know? Go and make your goals helping other people. Because when we live in our own heads, we create chaos for ourselves in our life, you know? And it's very, very, very important that we create goals, ambitions, and dreams. And we start seeing then the skills we have within ourselves. When we help other people, when we do charity work or help others with an emotional problem or with pain or with some mental health difficulty, or when we help others, we then know we've got skills. We then know we've got value because we're adding value to other people's lives. So if you help other people, it's one of the best things you can do for your own mental health is help someone else to a certain extent, right? Obviously, if the person is just going on about all their problems all the time and they're draining you of energy, you don't want to be spending time with that person. Do you know what I mean? If they're just energy vampires that are just literally in your life because they're there to help you to help them, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about helping people that genuinely need help, that are kind, caring people that just have lost their way in life or need some help. Like, you know, sometimes the elderly just want someone to go and do the shopping for them because they can't get out to the shops. Sometimes people have got problems with their hands, like arthritis, and they can't do the gardening for themselves. Sometimes, you know, charity shops, they need more people to collect goods from people's houses if you've got a car. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things you can do. There's a lot of goals you can have in life that don't center around yourself if you feel that you can't do anything for yourself because you feel you're not important or worth it, which is totally untrue. You are, you know, but if you feel that, oh, I can't do anything for myself, I'm not worth it, you know, then you need to go and do stuff for other people, because when you do stuff for other people, you will also get pleasure out of that, you know, through helping others, because you'll be helping yourself to see value in yourself, to see self-worth. But it all starts with you, you know. You can either carry on going through life and have change happen to you time and time again and think this life is shit, or you can actually take control of your life and make change happen for you. Even if it causes you some anxiety, even if it causes you some discomfort, which it's going to do, push through it. Liam, there's nothing I want in my life. My life has no purpose. So you don't want to help anyone else, Liam? Not one little bit. No, don't want to help anyone at all. I don't believe that. I don't believe that there's I don't believe you don't want to help people. You come on this channel and you're very kind to me and you brighten my day, right? So I think you do like helping people. Do you know what I mean? You know, and at the end of the day, you're responsible for your life. If you have no life purpose and nothing you want in your life, only you have the power to change that. No one else has the power to change that. And a lot of that feeling of no purpose in life and nothing you want is because you don't value your own worth. You don't see the beauty within yourself. You don't see that you're a kind, caring person that brightens someone's day. You don't see how loving you are. You don't see what a wonderful friend you'd probably make. You know, I mean, obviously we're YouTube friends, but I'm sure if I met you in person as well on video chat, that you'd be a lovely person for me to talk to. Do you know what I'm saying? You have a lot of value in life. I know how you're feeling because I used to be like that when I was depressed. But right now, you know, we're happy. Well, we're lucky to be alive. You know, there's loads of people around the world that aren't. And I know if you're depressed, then you can think thoughts about not being alive, because I used to be like that type of person. But I'm not that type of person anymore, you know? Liam, I would love to help people. Well, there you go then, Liam. Why don't you write a list of how you can help people? You know, why don't you go and write a list of how you can help people? Because I'm sure you can help a lot of people, right? I mean, you help me by coming on this channel and supporting me. So you already help one person in this world. I'm sure there's many, many more people you help. You know, you're always supportive. Do you know when you come on the chat, I'm like, oh, Liam's here. That's so lovely to see. I know I can't see you, but I just think it's really nice. You know, when I have people on this channel, because obviously it's a small channel, right? I mean, I don't have thousands of subs like some other asexual channels or some other channels, right? I have thousands of views. You know, like 132,000 or whatever views. So I have loads of views, but I only have a certain number of people that usually actually come in chat, you know, and you're one of them and you're very valued in my community here. You know, and when you come and come in chat, I feel supported by you. You are helping me. You have a life purpose just by doing that. Do you know what I mean? Whether you know it consciously or not, you must know it. You must know that you support me. You're always in chat, and I always feel very grateful and thankful to you. You know, when you're a small channel, you're particularly when a small channel as well. The people that come in chat and the people that regularly communicate with you are the ones that keep you going. You know, the ones that keep you striving to do your channel. You know, the only reason I do the channel is because you people, including you, Liam, especially, watch. You know, if people weren't watching the channel and they didn't like it, there'd be no point in me doing it. However much I like being on YouTube, it's not about me. I'm not going to like it unless I've got some people who want to interact with me and who actually like what I'm talking about and find it helpful and useful. Do you know what I mean? I just be talking to myself, which is great. I don't mind to a certain extent, but it's like I'm not here just to talk to myself in life. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, I'd just get a mirror and just look at it all the time. But so you know, I'm sure that you could do some voluntary work for people, Liam, and help more people. You know. But you do brighten up my day, you know, so you've definitely got at least one life purpose. And I'm sure you make it your goal to watch my channel and you watch my long movie style videos, you know. I always know and think, oh, wow, I hope Liam's going to be there. And you turn up and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Such a lovely fan, such a beautiful person to support me. I have this thought in my head, the less people know me, the better. But that's a wrong negative thought. What unfortunately depression does is it tries to take over your brain. So if you suffer with depression, right, you have this depression this like person talking in your mind to you who's basically depressed, right? And you can think of it like a separate person to you. You have to stop that person getting in your head and making you feel depressed. If I didn't do certain things, I could slip back into depression, but I won't let myself go there. And to stop going back into depression, you have to keep topped up on happiness. So you have to find happiness in the smallest things of life. whether that's coming on this channel in chat, which I hope does brighten your day, and whether it's talking to a friend on the phone, talking to someone on a video call, whether it's just to smell a beautiful rose, whether it's to smile at someone in the street that hasn't had any company for 2 days or 3 days or a month, you know, whether it's to just, you know, like take some flowers to your neighbours, you know, whether it's just to like go into the shop, supermarket and say, thanks very much for giving me such great service. You know, when I'm in the supermarket, I talk to the people on the checkout. I ask them how they are. Because the thing is with depression, you get so much in your own mind that you just get so revolved around yourself. You don't look at other people. You don't forget that they've got problems and worries, that you can actually just help them relieve themselves by just asking, how is your day going? How are you feeling today? When's your next day off? You know, people don't have these conversations. And so it's totally untrue that the less people you know, the better. Your head, your depressive head is telling you that. You have to look at your depressive head as a person who's no good for you. You know, you are not your depressive head, right? They are two separate things. And one day you have to just, this is what happened to me when I found out I was got fibromyalgia. That's what my book tells as well, the story about my life with fibro. Oh, hi, Richard. Awesome, love. Nice to see you. So if you read my book, it's an autobiographical story. It's about how my life changed. When I had fibromyalgia, I was diagnosed with that in 2012, right? It's a life-changing condition. It's a disability for life. I can't get rid of it. I've got it. You know, it can cause a lot of problems. It can get worse. I can end up on crutches or in a wheelchair. And, you know, it can take its toll on the body. It can be really bad. Can. Doesn't mean to say is going to be, right? So all the time I have to condition my mind to think positively, right? But because it took me 6 months to come to the terms that I've got disability for life, it's very, very difficult when all of a sudden you're just like, bang, this is what I'm talking about. Two sources of change. Change either happens to you from an external source, someone comes along, some external situation, some external problem, person, thing happens, or you make change happen for you. When you're given a disability for life and you're handed it and like, here you go, you got this for the rest of your life now, bye, I'm off. You know, it's kind of like shocking, right? To the system, it's like really shocking. But it was a shock I needed to pull me out of depression. It took me 6 months to come to the terms with the fact I have a disability for life. I had, there was one session I had at the hospital, which was like a woman and a bloke. One woman's like, oh, just do some breathing exercises. The other guy started talking to me about anxiety and we need to solve that. And I'm like, well, actually, I've come to terms with the fact that I got a disability for life and how that's affecting my mind because I'm not feeling great about it at the moment, you know? They didn't help me at all. They just dismissed me because I wasn't giving them the textbook answers they wanted. And because I like thinking outside the box, I can think for myself. And I wasn't prepared to focus on my anxiety. I didn't come for that, you know? And I realised the more I heard my mum, I realised the more my mum talked to me about people she saw on crutches in a wheelchair, the more I read people's posts in fibro groups, the more I went on forums with fibro people and stuff, the more, well, groups really, Facebook groups, the more I understood the depths of it, the nature of it, the more I realised if I didn't stop thinking negatively, it would manifest itself in pain in my body because fibro is brought on by trauma. Trauma in multiple forms, whether you've had an accident, whether your mum gave birth to you and had a difficult childbirth, that can give you trauma, whether you've had sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, all different types of abuse that provides trauma to the body. With fibro, it tends to stay in the cells of the body, right? And it's if you've been in fight or flight, for example, a lot, if you've been in an abusive relationship, it has cortisone that releases in your body. If you Google the prolonged effects of cortisone on the body, it's not very good, right? It does damage to the cells of your body. So basically, from my research, I'm still doing more and more research. From what I understand, is because I can feel pain of accidents from years ago. It's the cells, you know, where they've had trauma, they stay in that state, right? And what you do is the more trauma you pile on there, the more stress, anxiety, worry about things, the more negative people in your life, the more negative thoughts you have, it all piles on and it creates more and more pain throughout your entire body. And the more you put pain on yourself, because if you're having negative thoughts, you're doing it to yourself, no one else is doing it, which is hard to stomach, but it's the truth. Then you are just creating pain throughout your own body. And it's either you stop doing that or you carry on doing it and make yourself, well, in my case, crutches or a wheelchair. That is my alternative. I either be positive or I'm crutches or a wheelchair. There is no other middle ground. That's it. And I realised that 6 months into my diagnosis of fibromyalgia in 2012. 6 months. You can't die of fibro, but you can get other conditions because of it, which could be life-threatening because your immune system is lowered, right? I spend a lot of money per month on my health. Like currently 56 to 70 quid a month just on health products to live and to keep my immune system up. You might have noticed I'm healthier lately because I've been buying more products. I tried to cut one of them down and it was a bad mistake on my part to do that. So I put it back up to what I used to have regularly, and now I'm a lot more healthier. And I'm focusing heavily on health now. Health is my top priority over anything, because if I'm not healthy, I can't do any work anyway. So my priority is to de-stress myself. So it's very, very important that you understand that the brain, any negative stuff we have in our brain will manifest itself in pain in the body and discomfort and disease and disease. And the last thing you want to do, especially with the virus situation the world right now, is cause yourself pain and suffering in your mind, because in turn you're more susceptible to getting viruses, full stop, you know. And so, you know, for me, the threat of the freedom of my life, you know, the threat of being on crutches in a wheelchair for the rest of my life is something I'm not prepared to put myself through. I mean, that would be real pain and agony, more than any depressed state of, you know, like depression to me is like really, really, really bad, you know. But the pain of actually, you know, being on crutches or in a wheelchair, that threat to my freedom is just too much to bear. I give up being depressed. So I literally, from the January I was diagnosed with fibro to the July, in the July time, I think it was July 2012, you know, I just gave up being depressed, because I gave up talking to myself negatively. I stopped saying the stuff like you are saying to yourself, Liam, because I used to be like that. I used to say, thanks for the thumbs up. I used to say, you know, like, what's the purpose of me being here? I hate life. I don't want to be here. There's no point to it. I don't like it. There's no point in me being here. No one cares. No one loves me. No one likes me. And it just went on and on and on. And I could go over it again, but I don't want to start carrying on with that because it'll just get in my mind. And, you know, because it's really hard to break patterns. Like even now, I'll have some negative patterns occasionally coming back, like negative thoughts. And I'm like, that's the former me. That's not me now. So in order to be the best person I am now, I have to control myself all the time. I have to manage my mind. Mind management is the top skill people need to learn. The top skill to survive, thrive, and flourish in this world is mind management. People don't get taught this in school. It's all about maths and science and history. They don't teach you how to manage your mind properly, right? So, you know, if you let thoughts in, if I let all my thoughts in now, because I have some negative thoughts, I have some thoughts which are bad in terms of negativity come in sometimes. And also, I can be prone to jealousy in the past, right? I try not to get jealous. Sometimes I do, but it's not healthy, right? And I recognize that. And I'm like, no, that's my old mind. That's the old me that used to get jealous. That is not healthy in any type of relationship or friendship or connection with anyone to be jealous. That is my ego talking. That is my insecure little girl talking. I appreciate my girl in me. I appreciate the kid in me, but I like the kid that is playing and happy, not worried about what other people think and not actually being jealous of anyone. That's the little girl I want to be, because we've all got like a child within us. In counseling psychology, everyone has the mother, the child, and the father, right? The child is the one that needs to play, who needs to kind of embrace who they are, be themselves. The mother is the one that takes care of the person like in a motherly way, and the father's kind of more action orientated, right? But we've all got a mother, father, child, and if we have had a bad childhood or someone in our family, like mother or father or something, isn't like living up to the expectation, what you expect, you can actually train yourself, or you can naturally become your own mother or father to yourself. I'm not going to go into delving deep in that, but you know, basically we have our mind, right? And the mind, if you let it, will just go all over the place and create chaos, right? Now, I know through years of experience that I have certain parts of my mind that aren't healthy for me. Ones that are like I said, with the jealousy, which is hard to admit, but it still crops up. I know now how to manage that. But years ago, I didn't. I would let my mind go and do something that would purposely jeopardize a friendship or relationship because I would be jealous, because I would let that part of my mind rule me. I don't now, because I recognize that as the insecure child, the upset child, the person who's frightened and scared. It's not, instead of blaming myself, I think, well, it's not good to have those thoughts, Sandra, but I understand you're coming from a place of scaredness because of what happened in your past. You're coming from a place of worry that people will leave you. You're scared that, things will go away from you. But if you act jealous in reality, not just in your mind, in reality, you will actually scare the person away. You will actually frighten them away. You'll push them away, which is actually the opposite of what you want. And I know through learned behavior in my past, through what I've done, that I'm not to do that. So then I have to mind correct. It doesn't stop me feeling that emotion. I have to acknowledge that emotion, even though it's not nice. I don't feel good about being jealous. I wished I didn't feel it at all. But it's something I've never, ever been able to totally get rid of. So instead of pushing and fighting against something, because you push and fight against something, it's not healthy. You have to acknowledge the emotion, think why, and you just think you're a scared girl. It's a scared little girl, Sandra, and that's okay. You're frightened and you're scared. Give your girl some love, and just say it'll be okay. Whatever happens, it'll be okay, and reassure myself that it doesn't matter if someone does leave me or goes away from me, because I've still got myself. I know I've been through really bad situations, and I've still been with myself, and I've still got myself out of it and still been happy. Lewis, life, it's not the same all the day at home. It's not the same all the day at home. When you mean it is the same the day at home. You have to change up what you're doing at home. If you're not happy at home, you have to do, like I put laser lights on. I have some laser lights. I have music I can dance to. Or, like sometimes you just need to get out for a walk. I had to go food shopping today because sometimes it does make your mind a bit crazy being indoors all the time. So having a change of scenery can be really good, even if it's just to walk down the road, do some shopping, phone a friend up, even if it's indoors, that type of thing. Liam, sadly, negative thoughts have always been in me mostly. I hate my mind. I was exactly the same as you, Liam. I know it's possible to change, but depression becomes comfortable. It's a horrible thing to say, but your mind gets used to being depressed. It's a comfort zone. I didn't know this. So basically, your mind is comfortable in a depressed state because not being depressed is something that you don't know and something that's not familiar, and it scares you subconsciously, but you don't realize it. So you're kind of like stuck. You have to find something that'll make you in more pain if you stay depressed than it would getting out of it. For me, that was fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia changed my life for the better forever. I am grateful that I got fibromyalgia. Not grateful for having the condition per se, but grateful I got it to stop me being depressed. Because depression was more painful than fibro, to be quite honest with you, because now I manage my fibromyalgia so well that, especially because I've started doing my things in my book. Sometimes I have to read my own book, people, because sometimes I put stuff in this book. This is my whole life plan and pattern for leading a good life. There's less pain, more energy, and feeling happier. And sometimes if I dwindle, if I go away from some of these things in this book, and for example, I don't eat my secret food ingredients for a while, or I don't take one of the health products I said in here, then my health goes down. And so I always give such good advice that I have to go back and read my own books sometimes because they actually do work. So that's a good thing if you're a writer. Make sure you always write books that actually change your own life as well, so that you can actually dip into your own book and think, this is really good words. I can't believe I wrote this. Let's get it out and take action on it. So yeah, I mean, I basically used to have negative thoughts since being a kid. But you have to understand that you can get out of that you can actually have a positive life. You're not going to get positive thoughts every single day of the week, month, second of the year. No one does that. However strong they are in their mind, you always have to train your mind and keep correcting it. And hating your mind is not going to be a good thing, because obviously the more you hate your mind, the more you're going to hate yourself. So what you have to understand is there's a part of your mind that isn't good for you, that it's jeopardizing you, that it's pushing you to be a certain type of person that's negative. And the only way you can do that is take action towards getting positive, but you have to want it. If you don't want to be positive because you're more comfortable being negative, it isn't going to happen. The only reason I changed and stopped being depressed was because I had fibromyalgia. Ali Blimmin Numia. God gave me fibromyalgia. He's like, you can handle it, go and get it. Here you go. Hand me on a plate. That's the only thing you're going to do to change your life. But that it took such a dramatic thing like that in my life to change my life. A dramatic thing like that. You know, like having a disability for life, I can't change that. It's F all I can do about it, apart from manage it really, really well, right? And work out what causes it to either limit my time with those things that cause it, or to try and solve the issues, right? There are some people that think you can actually get out of fibromyalgia. I know there's two forms of it. One's most to be muscles, and you can get out of that within 2 years. We've got the muscle and brain one. The full fibro, then it's not supposed to be able to go out of, but I know people who've told me they have. But yeah, but actually I'm happier with fibro than I was not having fibro. So fibro is my comfort zone now. Like having a pain condition for life, fibromyalgia is actually my comfort zone now. I've got so used to having fibro that to not have it, I would feel weird. It's like a superpower of mine now. I don't see it as a negative thing. I see it as a positive thing the majority of the time, you know. It's like a superpower. It gives me positivity like I've never had before, because I have to be positive. I have no choice but to be positive. Because if I don't be positive, I will get pain in my body. I will be bedridden. I could end up on crutches or in a wheelchair. Now, that would be a very miserable life for me personally. But even people who are on crutches or in a wheelchair, they can be positive and happy and impact people's lives and change the world. I have seen someone talk on stage that had no legs and no arms. Right? No legs, no arms. That's the way he was born. He has got a wife and kids now as well. So whatever your situation is, you can change your life around. But you have to want to do it. You have to have something that comes into your life to make you want to change, otherwise you won't change it. And that's the problem with depression. Unless there's something like a lightning bolt that cuts through you and says, no, you have to change now. You have to change. It's a do or die situation. You change. That's it. There is no middle ground. There's no excuses. Nothing. You have to change. Do it now, instantly, without thinking about it, and keep doing it for the rest of your life. You know, and if you had depression, it's like I said, like sometimes I have some negative thoughts come through my mind, like really bad negative thoughts. I'm ashamed to even admit that, but it's true. But if I don't admit that to myself, then I'm not actually being true to who I am and honest with myself. You know, but my whole philosophy in life now is to be happy with what I've got. The little things in life. You know, because, for example, I work from home, you know, like, and I love being at home, like, but I'm an extrovert, so I do need to get out sometimes, you know. But, you know, I feel so blessed right now to be alive when other people haven't even got their lives anymore. I feel so happy that just as long as I got a roof over my head, food in my belly, I feel so happy and grateful, you know. So happy and grateful. I feel grateful that I've got this time with you. You know, I'm connecting through the camera with you personally. It's wonderful. You know, but the only person that can change their life, in all honesty, is yourself. Doesn't matter how much therapy you have, how much counseling you have, unless you want to change yourself purposely, it won't ever happen that you completely change your life. You can make some changes happen, but only the changes that happen that stick are the ones you want to make happen. You have to just choose to give up being depressed and to not let yourself talk negatively to yourself. But, you know, when you do, you've got to not beat yourself up about it. Because sometimes, like, I can be like, oh, Sandra, why are you having such negative thoughts? And then you end up thinking more negatively about yourself again, because I'm punishing myself for having a negative thought here. So what I have to do is praise myself. Like, I've been doing a lot of affirmations lately, which say I love myself, I trust myself, I believe in myself. You know, and you have to reprogram your mind, because all the conditioning you have in life is conditioning. It's people that have programmed your mind to think certain ways about yourself, or things that have happened in your life to you that's caused you to think a certain way. It's patterns and beliefs. Like, there's two people, right? There's two types of people now. Well, obviously in the world now, if we just surmise it as two types of people, right, sat at home. There's one person sat at home right now with the virus situation going on. They're really upset, in pain of the virus situation. They don't know what to do. They're bored out of their brain. They hate life. They think life's, like, what's happening? I'm so confused right now. They're so fearful and afraid to go out their door. They're so scared of everything, and life is a catastrophe for that person, right? So that's the mindset of one person. They just can't deal with it. It's too much for their brain. They're doing all they can just to just get along in life, just basically to survive. They're not thriving or flourishing. They're just surviving. Their mind's really bad all the time. They're fearful. They're negative. They're panicky. And that's the type of brain that's going on right now with the virus situation. That's one type of person. Then you'll get the other type of person and thinks, my God, right, I'm at home more. Maybe they're working before, right? They can't work at the moment because their job won't allow them to work, right? Or they've maybe been made redundant, maybe, right? They're at home with their wife and kids, or they just have more time to spend with their friends online, right? And they are counting their blessings. They're like, my God, I've got more time on my hands now. I've got months of being able to see my family, my friends, even whether it's on camera or in person. I've got, like, all this time to be able to, like, get online courses and do some skills and improve myself. I've got all this time to, like, read more books I like. I've got this time to watch more movies I enjoy. I've got this time to grow myself, develop myself. Let's learn some blogging skills, for example. My best friend, actually, they're starting a blog, which they've never done. I've been blogging for 10 years this year. So they've never done that. Blogging helps you to feel in control of something. Like, I started blogging for two reasons. One was to find my writer's voice. And two was to be in control of something in my life in a time that I was feeling out of control. So if you do have depression or anxiety, a blog is a very good thing to start because you can get all your emotions and feelings out. Don't forget it is on the internet, though. But a lot of people can connect with you and can understand the emotional upset and pain you have because they feel the same. Right? There's a lot of things you can be doing. Right? But you have to find your purpose. And if you don't have any life purpose, your life purpose is to find your life purpose. Your life purpose is to find your life purpose. That's it. What other choice do you have? And like I said, there's two brains. One now is thinking really negatively with this situation. One's thinking positively. Predominantly, I'm in the positive lane. I'm thinking, my God, I'm doing all online courses. I'm learning more skills. I'm reading more books, business books. I'm in more groups, business groups. I'm doing online courses. I'm creating my own online courses. I'm just learning so many skills that I never learned before that I needed to learn. I didn't have the time for, so that people are being productive with their time at home, are feeling better because they're not anxious and worried about the outside world because they've got more time to do the things that they need to do for themselves to help and grow and develop themselves as a person. It's the same situation. They're both experiencing the same virus situation, but they're experiencing it in a different way. Ace Man Richard Howe, that's one reason I started a podcast. That's very good, Richard. I'm very proud of you. Very proud of you. It's very important, we can all help each other. Right? When someone feels depressed, they go inward. I used to be like this. I used to think of myself all the time and no one likes me, everyone hates me, and I hated myself. I didn't like my life. I used to cry all the time. I used to be very depressed. I used to think about taking my own life. And obviously, if you feel that way, please call the Samaritans. The phone number's online. They're open 365 days a year, 24/7. Please get some help. Like, if you feel suicidal, get some help. Talk to a friend, talk to a family member, do whatever you can to get out of it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's very important. But the mental health, your mental health, managing your mind is the most important skill you can develop in your life. The most important skill. And people don't understand this. They think, it's a ton of other things, right? Your mind is the most important, crucial thing, right? And you have to reduce your time that you spend with negative people. You have to reduce watching things that are negative on TV, negative things that come into your mind. Like, I don't watch the news because people who watch the news are scared shitless right now. Excuse my language. They're fearful. And they're all told different stories, and they're getting very angry and frustrated, and that's turning into hatred for each other, and people have got so many different opinions. At the end of the day, we're all living, breathing human beings that have different opinions. We all deserve love. We all deserve caringness in this world. We all deserve to be in this world, right? We're here. If we're still here living and breathing, God has plans for us, right? He hasn't wiped us out. We're here, right? So it's very important that we understand that. But we have to change ourselves. Honestly, all the counseling, all the therapy you can have will help at times. But the real change comes from within you. You have to change yourself. You have to understand no one's going to come and save you. No one's going to come and change your life for you. And if someone does help you to change you to change your life, you have to still want it for yourself. The root of you, the foundation, has to want it badly, because it doesn't matter if someone comes and helps you. The change won't stick unless you badly want it for yourself. Badly want it for yourself. If you're doing something for someone else and you don't really want it yourself, it's not going to last. It's not going to be deep rooted. Like, I do this channel because I love doing the channel. I write books because I just love writing books, whether they make money or they don't make money. I do this channel obviously because I like talking to you. And I think it's very important when you're asexual and you're very minority of the population to connect with other people of your own kind, to not feel lonely, left out and lost, because it can be very isolating being asexual. It's like being an alien, you know, in a world full of people you just don't understand. Like, and when we meet up on this channel, it's like we're in my bedroom spaceship together. It's awesome. Wild Bill, hi Ace Man. And so it's very, very important that you start to understand change has to come from within you. Change needs to be from within yourself. Because if you're having change happen to you all the time, you're going to feel unstable. Your personal power is going to be with other people. Other people are going to control your emotions. Other people are going to control your life. Other outside influences are going to control you. And you're literally not even going to know who the heck you are. Right? You know, in order to form your own identity and understand who you are, you have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. You have to be able to take risks. You have to be able to take chances. You have to be able to live your truth and speak your truth. Now, that's very difficult if you're with family and friends who just think you should live the life they think you should live. You know, and it can cause some trouble. It can cause arguments. But at the end of the day, it's better to cause an argument or not at all and walk away than it is to live a life that other people want you to live and be fed up because you don't live for yourself. Do you know what I mean? Ace Man Richard Howard, Sandra, he is the one I was on YouTube with last night. Oh, hello, Bill. Wild Bill. Thank you. I'm really glad. So I guess Richard's introduced you to this channel. Absolutely awesome. Lovely to have you here. Thank you so much, Richard, for getting Wild Bill to come on here. It reminds me of Disneyland Paris, actually, which is going off on a tangent. But yeah, the Wild Wild West, they do like in Disneyland Paris, they do like shows, like Wild West shows, and it's really awesome, you know. And sometimes it's great when you know, if things are quite chaotic in other parts of your life, to remember like really good things you're grateful for. Like, one of the things I'm really grateful is going to Disneyland Paris in 2017, you know. Like, I've actually done a lot in my life, so because I'm like indoors, it's not always good for my mind. I kind of need to see some people, but you know, I have done a lot in my life already. Like, I've been to Disneyland Paris. I don't need to travel around the world. It's not who I am. I'm not really interested. I've been loads of places in the UK, which has been great. I've stayed in really nice hotels. I've met the Queen. I've saved someone's life. You know, I've done lots of different things in my life, you know. You know, like this book came out last year. You know, I was working on that for years. And so, you know, it's good that if you can give yourself, Wild Bill, how are you doing? I'm doing really good, thank you. I'm happy to be here because I have had a couple of days off this week, not from working, from being on here, because I've been getting my Asexual Meetup Mastery course out and how to arrange a successful online asexual meetup. Like, the Asexual Meetup Mastery course took me over 6 months to create, and I started filming for it last September. Most people would just give up, but I never give up. Do you see what I mean? So it's taken me nearly a year to actually get that out with all the bonuses and everything. It's on special offer at the moment. Don't forget that offer ends on Tuesday, the 18th. So make sure you do get one of the offers, whether you're looking to host just online courses, or if you're looking to host online courses online meetups. It's an online course that's about meetups. So if you're looking to host online meetups, or if you're looking to host in-person meetups, If you're looking to host both, get the Asexual Meetup Mastery online course that teaches you how to run a successful asexual in-person meetup, but it also has got the how to arrange a successful online asexual meetup included as a bonus in the Asexual Meetup Mastery. I hope you understood that. So one course is how to arrange a successful online asexual meetup that teaches you how to arrange a successful online asexual meetup step-by-step in videos, giving you my 7-step success formula blueprint, which is like you can use that for all meetups, not just for online meetups. And the Asexual Meetup Mastery is a be-all and end-all of meetups and includes the how to arrange a successful online asexual meetup video training course in that course as a bonus. It's like an extra bonus as well as some other bonuses. So yeah. Well, Bill, that's good. I'm not asexual, but I enjoy learning about other people and their differences. Oh yeah, thank you for saying that, Wild Bill. I'm glad that you admit that, because Richard did tell me you're not asexual. But I do get some people that are not asexual following this channel, which is nice, and subscribe to it. I get a few people in chat usually as well, so it's really good. You know, I think it's nice to educate other people and to all be good together. I have got an interview coming up, by the way, which won't be on this channel. It's on someone else's channel. And yeah, someone approached me. They've been watching my videos on YouTube. So hello if they're still researching, but they sent me the questions now. So I'm getting interviewed on the 23rd of September. It's being pre-recorded for an hour. And yeah, it's really interesting. And I'm being interviewed at 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning because the interviewer lives in Australia. And they're from a media agency that's doing a series on defining sexual intercourse, redefining sex, it's called. And because I'm an asexual that's had sex before, that's why they want to interview me. So yeah, so that'll be on their YouTube. So I will share that on one of my blog posts and stuff like that, groups, that type of thing, profile and stuff like that, but I'll let you know when it does come out because I'll announce it on this show anyway. So that's really exciting. It's very interesting. They sent me the questions through today. They're on the desk here, so yeah, that's where I'm looking forward to that. So it's really important. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, I hope you can see that it's very, very important that we have change come from within us, right? Because the thing is, I see a lot of people with anxiety particularly, or depression, and they are literally waiting for someone to save them. They are waiting for someone else to come along and change their life and make it better for them. And unfortunately, the sad truth is that's not how it works in life. You have to make change happen for you. Because if you don't, your emotions are at the mercy of other people and you feel totally out of control. And, you know, and the only way you feel like you can stay in control is to stay within yourself and be in a really tight space. But what that does is it stops you living your greatness. It stops you living your true life purpose. Like, you think you haven't got a life purpose. Everyone has a life purpose, but they don't realize what it is until they start exploring what their life purpose might be. And they go and do different things and try different things out. You know? Try different things out. I mean, obviously you're very good on YouTube, Liam. I don't know if you've got your own YouTube show, but you're very good in comments. You're very, very supportive. You know, one of your life purposes obviously is to give support to other people, which is nice. And be very friendly and caring towards them, you know? But we must also remember that we have to be true, like I said, true to who we are. So we're not, you know, there's certain people that come into our lives that are going to be bad to us, right? We have to understand and recognize these people and get them the heck out of our life quickly, right? And once you start growing self-confidence and self-esteem, which is what a depressed person lacks, once you start growing them and you start realizing the value and valuing yourself, you tend to be able to stick up to these people that are bad. You know, like I get loads of people, for example, on ASAP that clearly are just like trolls. They're just like spat, you know, they're just people who create fake profiles all the time, and I just block them now. I just don't even bother a lot of the time and just block them because there's nothing to say I'm fake, but I just know they are. I mean, if you look at one person and they're saying they're a certain their orientation, for example, say it's a woman and they say they're heteromantic into guys and they're messaging me, hi babes, and you know they're lying because I'm female, not what they're meant to be attracted to. It's silly, stuff like that is just contradiction straight away in their profile. And it's certain things, you get loads of people from a United States on ASAP saying certain things, and they're not even asexual. It's like, I'm a God-fearing man, I'm caring, it's just bull. It's just like the way they do it, I just know instantly, and I just like block it now. I'm like, I can't be bothered in my life, so I'm getting more and more better at just blocking people that I intuitively know is wrong, and just get them the heck out of my life. Do you know what I mean? And Ace Man, that's all I've been seeing on ASAP. I'm glad you confirmed that, Richard. Yeah, I mean, a couple of them I reported to, I sent a screenshot and reported to the admin, because you can report them now. But the trouble is I feel that unless you report it with an actual picture, they're not actually they're getting rid of the people that I report with the pictures, which is good. So obviously if you have got it, that's great evidence. But there's a lot of people that are fake on there. There is no evidence of them being bad. I just know they're no good. I just know they're fake, because I've got experience of recognizing fake people, especially on that app. And like you say, Richard, probably by now, they always put I'm United States or something. Maybe they're in the military. They might say they're 45 and they look about like 21 or something, or vice versa. Their picture doesn't match what they're saying in their profile. They're confused. They don't mention asexual. They don't really know what it means. They say they're an asexual, like aromantic, and like me. I get people going, "Oh, hello, pretty." It's like, you're probably some blooming old man on the other end of the thing, because clearly you don't look like your picture, And if you're saying hello, pretty, it's like, just the way it's saying it's creepy. Asexuals don't talk to me like that usually. They might say in conversation you're pretty, which they do, but they say it in a different way. It's the way they just come out with it. So but you've got to grow your self-esteem, self-compassion, and self-worth, and that starts with you. And you've got to understand that life is going to bring you pain sometimes. You're gonna, and you have to one of the things that really helped me in my life is thinking that there are no mistakes in life. There's just lessons you learn from. I'll repeat that again. There are no mistakes you make in life. There are just lessons you learn from, and decisions you make. So if you make a decision, something doesn't work out, it's not a mistake, because you learn it doesn't work out. So then you go and do something else. Ace Man Richard Howard, yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's brilliant. Once you just put in your head, I can't fail because I can't make it, because there is no failure in life. There's just lessons you learn from. So there's nothing's really a mistake, because they're all lessons that you learn from. There is no failure. Every time, I mean, a lot in the entrepreneur world, right? They say fail forward. Failure is good, because the more you fail, in terms of when they say failure, so there's two lines of thought. One is there is no failures, because you learn something, and the other is keep failing forward, meaning keep failing and failing, because eventually you'll get the thing that does work. So failure is actually good, because it's helping you to grow, develop. They're saying the same sort of thing, really, just one's a more positive slant than the other, depending on which way you look at it. So you kind of look at it failing forward, like, oh yeah, I want to make 10, 20, 30, 40 failures, because then I know I'll get to the thing that's going to work. Or I can't fail, so I can just keep making lots of decisions and trying things out, because there is no failure. Whichever way you look at it is a positive attitude to take, because then you don't stay in stuck in a situation which you can't possibly think how to get out of, because you don't want to make a decision. Wild Bill, Ace Man has been doing good with his podcast. That's really good. I'm glad. I know Richard's been helping asexuals. It's really good. And that's what it takes, when you help other people, you actually help yourself, because you've got life purpose then. But it requires a lot of guts and courage, and you have to bring yourself out of yourself to do it. You have to push through your fears and your own boundaries in life to actually get where you want to go. I've got to push through my fears and boundaries more. I'm constantly challenging myself. I'm not perfect. The stuff I'm talking to you about, I carry on progressing with my life and actively following my own advice when I'm paying attention to myself. When I don't pay attention to myself, things go wrong. Sometimes my best friends, they message me going, Sandra, this is a line from this is a line from your book. Remember this line that you told me? You need to apply it now. I'm like, oh, damn. And they quote me from this book, because this book's great even if you don't have fibromyalgia. Literally, it's a personal professional development book wrapped up in fibromyalgia. So if you need to develop and grow yourself, go and get a copy of this. Honestly, if you read it and you haven't got fibromyalgia, the majority will still apply to you. There's some things that are very fibro specific, But there's a lot of stuff because it tells you how to decrease your pain in 25, not 5, 25 aspects of your life. It's just like, and it's done in superhero style, which makes it a fun read as well. Liam, love you, Sandra. Those trolls are just disgusting. They're the people that would asexuals don't exist, or it's a disorder. I have to go now. You're an amazing, beautiful person. Thank you, Sandra. Oh, I love you, Liam. Too. You're awesome. Stop thinking you're not. You're awesome. You know. And you know, some trolls are disgusting. You know, you just have to ignore them. At the end of the day, there'll always be trolls. But if I paid attention to the trolls right now, I wouldn't be on this channel, would I? Because I used to get so many trolls, you know, and coming in chat, and they used to say some nasty things, some things that weren't shown to you here because they were filtered. I have certain filters on my YouTube channel, naturally, automatically engaged filters, you know, and basically, you know, I don't say some of the stuff they said, you know, but if I paid attention to those trolls, like the 5 or whatever trolls, and I took no notice of my 700 and something subscribers on this channel, and decided, oh no, I don't want to do a channel anymore because I've been hurt by like 5 people or something, it would be a waste of my life giving something up just because of 5 people, you know, or just for one person that's clearly got such opinion that thinks I should do the show that the way they want me to do it. It's not me, right? Sometimes people like worry so much about what other people think that they stop doing what they do, which is what they're good at, you know? Trolls have no lives. Exactly, Wild Bill. I totally agree with you. I absolutely agree with you, you know? Trolls have absolutely no life, you know? If they're so busy and concerned what you're doing in your life, they clearly not got a life of their own. And if they think they know better than you, I'm like, well, go and create your own channel then. You know, some of the people that have said about, well, specifically one person that said about my YouTube channel, how to run it, which I wasn't going to do because I don't agree with doing something just for the hell of it. It's got nothing to do with asexuality, nothing to do with my life that I don't even like. You know, it's like, at the end of the day, if you're that fussed, you go and start your own YouTube channel. You go and help loads of asexuals. I mean, I'm here 5 years later. There's a person who's asexual, right? Who did a YouTube channel for, I think it's for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. They don't even do any videos now. They haven't done any for over a year, and still people are subscribing to them. They've got far more subscribers than I have. Yeah, they're not even doing anything. They've stopped putting out content. I'm here like 5 years later, well, 5 years in October, still giving out content. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm in it for the long game. I'm not here just to like, oh, get the subs and that's it. I don't give a shit. I'm here because I actually care about people. Ace Man Richard Howard, Bill and I went through some with another YouTuber. Went through some trolls or went through some stuff about asexuality, or have I missed the conversation? I think I might have missed what you're trying to say. But yeah, it's you know, oh, you went through some trolls with another YouTuber. Yeah, I mean, you know, trolls, I know you do that channel as well, don't you, Richard, about people that are scams and stuff like that. But yeah, trolls, you know, trolls have obviously problems in their life and issues, you know, that they want to project onto other people. They're bored rigid, so basically they have to project nastiness and negativity onto other people. They have to tell other people what to do with their lives, and if they're telling other people what to do with their life, clearly they've got nothing better to do with their own life, you know. At the end of the day, we all need to be true to who we are, you know. Like it's like when I was interviewed by that sex coach, if you've seen that Happy Life Without Sex video, I was interviewed by that sex coach, Diane. You know, she was saying to me, she was like, she was new to me, right? And she was like, oh, because she watched some of my videos, I think, on this channel and stuff I was saying, and she's like, oh, you know, like as coaches, you know, we wouldn't usually say all the stuff like that you do because you get trolls. Like she gets 20-year-olds approaching her for sex, she said. And I said, I don't worry about stuff like that. I get 20-year-olds. I actually prefer 20-year-olds, as you know, but not to have sex with them. But if I was a sexual person, I would still prefer to have 20-year-olds to older, because I'm asexual, so I'm not interested in sex. But if I was having sex, it would be with the guy in his 20s. It wouldn't be with a guy who is older, right? Because I'm not attracted to a guy. I have to be attracted to someone to even kiss someone. So if I was being in an intimate sexual situation, it'd be with a younger guy, because I'm not attracted to guys anywhere near my birth certificate age or older. I'm just not interested. And so, but that really, like, she said, oh, there's some weird people, but it's like, it's like there's loads of 20-year-olds that do it. I mean, in a way it's kind of flattering, but it's like whatever. In some ways it's flattering, other ways it's just disturbing. You're just like, whatever, I'm not gonna, like, I'm being myself, right? I want to put out the content I do. I am very open and public about my whole entire life, but I already consciously made a decision to do that, because I think if you put everything out there, people can't get you on anything. There's nothing people can bring up skeletons in my closet, because I'm so open. I tell everything. So there's nothing to hide. There's no, like, it's an actual much better thing to do, because the more secretive you are, the more people could leak something out. Whereas there's nothing to leak out about me. Every book, though, I do usually reveal something else. And there are still, like, if you watch my When Disaster Strikes video, that was revealing some more of my asexual story I hadn't revealed all before. So there are some things that I don't reveal, but not on purpose. It's just because it hasn't occurred that, that to happen. I mean, there might be, obviously I keep my friends' secrets. There's certain things I don't say on this channel. I don't see absolutely everything, but everything I do talk about, I'm comfortable with. Well, Bill, even though I'm not asexual, I still try to make people understand that sex isn't everything. Oh, thank you, Wild Bill. Yeah, sex isn't everything, people just really confuse it. Like, one of my friends got me to connect with a bisexual Indian guy, actually. Although I think he seems more into guys, he doesn't talk about women. And we connected. And he was asking me about what he can do for me. And I said, oh, so explain, how you do activism for bisexuality, basically. And he started talking, and he started saying, oh, we all have basic needs: food, water, sex, right? And obviously, from an asexual point of view, that's completely incorrect, because asexuals don't need sex. Sex isn't a basic need. It really isn't. Sex is something you can choose to do or not. Food and water you need to live. You don't need, you don't need sex to actually live, unless you're thinking about procreation. Where you need to keep the species going. But even that you can do in a test tube a lot these days. Do you know what I'm saying? But if you take the factor of reproduction out, and you actually use the word sex instead of reproduction that he was actually using, you don't need sex. You're not going to die if you don't have sex. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you don't drink or eat, you die. So at the end of the day, and so his mindset already is very different to mine, and he was talking about the fact that it's very taboo in India, homosexuality, and that it's seen as a sin, right? But I have had people who have said that asexuality is a sin. So this guy who said about homosexuality being a sin in India, I've actually had people say that about asexuality. Like, some people consider asexuality a sin because you're not, because you're well, they see it as refraining from sex, but it's like, we don't want it in the first place. Do you know what I mean? But because we're not having sex, especially if you're married and not consummate the marriage, it's like you've sinned or something. It's like, no, there are no sins whether you have sex or you don't, or who you have it with. The only sin there is if you have sex that's not consensual and you're hurting someone physically or emotionally or mentally. That's a sin, because you're being bad to someone. Whether you have sex and it's consensual, you enjoy it, or you hate sex, don't ever want it again, neither of them are a sin. If you're true to who you are, everyone involved is consenting, everyone's enjoying themselves and having a blooming good time. There's no problem. There's no sin involved. Do you know what I mean? All we need is a piece of cake to survive. Well, Bill, cupcakes, Ace Man. Yes, in my case, I can't eat cake. So in my case, I can't, I'm allergic to sugar and wheat. So if I have a piece of cake, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't want to think about the grave, but I've been in hospital before in the past with severe abdominal problems, and I found out myself that it was due to wheat allergy, and I went to go to a homeopath who I've had before in the past. Sadly, he's not with us anymore, but he was an amazing homeopath, and yeah, I'm allergic to wheat, but sugar's my worst allergy since 15 years old. So yeah, I can't actually eat cake. Yeah, I can eat like the health bars, like fruit and nut put together. Well, Bill, oh no, that's no good. Well, what food that makes you happy? Exactly. because a piece of cake would probably like kill me. Well, maybe not kill me, but put me in hospital. So yeah, on the way to that. So yeah, it's not very, and that would be bad for my immune system. Yeah. So yeah, so all we need is happiness. Happiness is a piece of cake. Actually, on my Asexualise Academy, if you've seen the behind the scenes bit on my my When Disaster Strikes video, like what you're getting in the asexual meetup course, you will see that I've got one of the pictures is happiness is a piece of cake. So I still think happiness is a piece of cake that you've got to make sure that you get your slice of, you know. It's very, very important. So yeah, you know, like one of the questions I'm going to be asked is what's the difference between sex and love, because I think very differently about it, because a woman who's interviewing me in that interview coming up on the 23rd of August 2020 when I'm recording this, then that's when my interview is. That's not when I'm actually recording this on the day. Then you know, she's asking me, because obviously I've done videos about the difference between love and sex. I'm very, very, very adamant on that. They're two completely different things. Like love is something that's a feeling within us, that's in our soul, in our bodies, if you like, in our hearts, in our being, you know, if you want scientific thing for it, it's chemicals. But you know, sex is just a form of physical expression that some people like to do or not do, and some associate with love or don't associate with love. It's a physical act, you know, but it's got nothing to actually do with love, as in the sense it isn't love. Sex is just a physical act of a penis and a vagina, or a penis up the ass, basically, to be blunt with you. It's not love, it's just an act. But obviously if you love someone and you're doing that act, then that can be a way of expressing more intimacy that you feel within that loving relationship. Some people want to do, others don't, because they don't feel that's the intimacy they want to give or share. It's not something they like and is repulsive to them. Lewis, I want ice cream since yesterday. I can only eat sugar-free, wheat-free, gluten-free, yeast-free ice cream. But yes, ice cream is great. And there's a lot of shops you can get ice cream from. So you can still go out, get ice cream and have a nice time just what's happening in the world. You can sit and you can eat ice cream. Even I can eat sugar-free, wheat-free, gluten-free, but I haven't done for a while. Last time I had it didn't sit well in my tummy, though. I think it's because I haven't had it for so long. You know, but yes, make change happen for you, not to you. Go and get your ice cream. Don't wait for it to arrive and drop down on your lap. Go and get the ice cream you want. When I could eat normal ice cream, I used to get mint choc chip. Oh my lord, I loved mint choc chip. At the moment, they haven't got sugar-free, wheat-free, gluten-free mint choc chip ice cream. They do mint chocolate, but not ice cream. They do vanilla. They do coconut. At my local health shop, they do like a chocolate one, and they do a caramel one, pecan caramel. So where are you from? I miss that. I am from the UK, the United Kingdom of Greatness. I love being in the UK. I'm into foreign younger guys, but I'm asexual. So I like guys in their 20s, romantically. Aesthetically, I'm very attracted to Indian guys. I believe I've got an Indian soulmate, just in case you missed that, because it's something I talk about on this channel all the time. Since 2014, I've known I've got an Indian soulmate, but I haven't met him yet. But I am looking forward to meeting him one day and being reunited with my soulmate, which I believe is from a past life. So I'm a bit spiritual, to say the least. Yeah. So I believe he's asexual, in his 20s, short dark hair, clean shaven, thin, probably into website design or IT or both. And yeah, he loves me, baby. He loves me. Yeah, I love him as well. I haven't met him in this life yet. So yes, since 2014 I've known that, though. So I've been waiting to find my asexual soulmate now for, when are we, 2020? 6 years. 6 years I've been waiting for my asexual soulmate to turn up. But I believe he's not turning up right now because my life is still a bit chaotic and I have to sort it out. Cool. Talk to another person from the UK too. Oh, you talk to another person from the UK too. That's great. Yeah, I mean, I love in the UK because like people are like, if you like Indian guys, why don't you just move to India? It's like because I'm actually not like their culture. I'm the opposite. That's why I need a westernized Indian guy because I'm not interested in marriage. I'm not interested in sex. I'm not interested in kids. I like to live separately. I don't want to do housewife for a housewife. I don't want to be a housewife for a guy and do housework for a guy. I'm very, very different, you know? And I don't want to go over and live that kind of like repressed type of life. In my opinion, that's how I feel. Obviously, a lot of Indians don't feel that way, and a lot of other people might like that lifestyle. And I love kissing in public. I have to have public displays of affection. You know, it's really important to me. So there's a lot of things that is in traditional Indian culture that wouldn't suit me or my lifestyle or being in a relationship for me. You know, I don't want to get into a relationship and be sad or unhappy just for the sake of being with an Indian guy. I won't do that. I'd rather stay single forever or find someone else who isn't Indian, do you know what I mean, than get with the wrong Indian guy and be in that situation. You know, I love Indian guys, but not enough to give up myself. You know, I love myself now implicitly. Myself always comes first every single time. I won't do the housework for the guy when I'm not interested in doing housework. It makes me miserable, angry, peed off, frustrated. I'm not interested. I do not want to waste my life being in the kitchen. I buy paper plates so I can just chuck them away. I'm not interested in that. I cook because I have to, not because I'm really into cooking, you know? And so, you know, I love the UK. I love living here. But obviously a lot of foreigners, they can't get a visa to the UK, or they try to get, you know, to get you to marry them to get a visa. So you've got to be very, very careful of that. You know, and it's hard. But there are, I mean, I've met 3 Indian guys at my local club when it was open. All of them wanted sex, so none of them suitable for me. But there is Indian guys in my city, 2 of which staying in here. One's got his own restaurant. The other person works in office. Usually, I don't know what's happened with the V situation. You know, whether they've gone back to their own country now or not. But you know, it's kind of like I said earlier, everything happens for a reason. So what you have to think in your life is whether change does, although there's like 2 major types of change that I started talking about in this video. One is that change happens to you, which is usually from external sources. Something new comes into your life. So that might be a situation, a person, a thing, or you basically, something comes from within you, something new, something different comes from within you. So you're making change happen to you, you know? But at the end of the day, you still have to understand that everything happens for a reason. If you follow that philosophy, you can never be wrong. And it helps you to trust yourself. I'm guided by my intuition a lot, you know, and I don't want to travel outside the UK. Only to Disneyland Paris. I don't need to go. I don't like flying on a plane. It doesn't make me happy. I cried last time I was on a plane. I hated it. I have no incentive to go on a plane. It's just like I want to go to Disneyland Paris again one day, but that'll be by Eurostar. You know, I like going by Eurostar. I don't need to be in a plane. I don't need to travel halfway around the world just to know what's out there, because I can speak to people from different cultures, and I love the UK so much. I absolutely adore the UK. So many people want to get into the UK as well. I love it. I love the city where I live. I love my flat right here, right now. It's beautiful. It's the best place I've ever lived in the world. And right now I feel so blessed. Like with the V situation, one thing I know that I've done really well for myself is choosing where I live. I have chosen the best place for me to live ever. Out of all the places I've ever lived on my own, I've chosen, or with a partner since leaving parents, I've chosen the best place for me. Because literally I have supermarkets diagonally across my road. I have the quayside, the beautiful quayside, 5 minutes walk. That's like country in the city, you know, with swans and geese and stuff, fresh air. You know, I have everything on my doorstep. I got train station 5 minutes away, one 25 minutes away, one another 20 minutes away. Got cinemas that aren't open at the moment, clubs that aren't open at the moment. But you know what I mean? I've got everything I need. This flat is gorgeous for doing writing. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very colourful. It's very, you know, like teenager style, like I love. You know, Disneyland Paris row, cuddly toys everywhere, you know, unicorn in the background. You know, it's just like I'm so blessed, you know. And when you start living from a place of gratitude, you automatically feel a lot happier. So, you know, it's very important to practice gratitude when you wake up in the morning. Just like touch your heart and think like of things you're grateful for, at least 3 things. If you can do 10 things or more, that's great. But if you just focus on 3 things, you know, and think, oh, I'm so happy now. I'm indoors. I'm safe. I'm well. You know, I've got a roof over my head. I've got food in my belly. I got beautiful friends. I'm working on projects that make me happy. everything like this. So when we go forward and we make change happen for us, it can be really scary. But it's good to know, like, do a step by step, change your life for the better forever. Because if you don't change, you just stagnate. And when you stagnate, you like die inside your soul. And then you think, what's the point to life? So the point of life is getting out there and experiencing it. Live it in spite of fear. Live in spite of anxiety. Live in spite of worry. Live in spite of that. Like, I have been programming myself lately to be less stressed, more happy with everything I've got right now in life, and my main aim in life is to be happy. Like, so many people look at other things and it's like, well, what actually makes you happy? If you're happy at home just doing X, Y, and Z, that's great. And a lot of people have been struggling with this lockdown situation, and obviously it's eased quite a lot in the UK now, but because they're not used to being at home spending time by themselves. But I was always used to that before. Like, I'm getting to the stage now this week, like, I particularly because I've been indoors more than usual constantly, that I've got kind of like, I need to talk to some friends. So I have been on the phone to my friends and stuff like that, and going out food shopping early, it was great for me. But I absolutely love my life, and I think when you cherish what you've got and when you make change happen for you, like, I used to work in a job years ago and I was made redundant, right? In 2017, that's the last time I actually worked for an employer, right? And I've been made redundant 3 times now, so I'm used to it. I'm used to being made redundant. I'm like, here we go again. And I actually foresaw my own redundancy happening a year before it happened. I even predicted the month that I would basically be told that I would be made redundant. But when it happened, it still was difficult for me, because it was a shock, because my figures were up and I was doing really, really well. Well, Bill, that's good for you. Me, I'd rather live where my neighbours are a good distance away, laugh aloud. I'm a country boy. Ace man Richard Howard, well, talk to you later. Have you got to go, Richard? Yeah, so thank you for coming on the show. Don't forget the course as well. Check the courses out, be great. Let me know what you think. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a country. Well, Bill, I mean, obviously from your name I possibly could have guessed that, but I didn't actually think of that, so thank you for educating me. Like, I hate the countryside. I don't hate the countryside. I don't like being in it for long periods of time. Like, I'm a city girl, so I hated being out in the countryside, I should say, because I grew up in the countryside. It wasn't me. I felt cut off. I felt isolated. It caused a lot of internal pain for me, because I wasn't in an environment I could personally thrive and flourish. But in Exeter, where I live in the UK, there's my little bit of countryside in the city. So 5 minutes walk from where I live is the quayside, which is beautiful fields and water and ducks and swans and geese. And so I've still got a bit of countryside that I was used to in the city without even like having to be in the countryside. And I don't like being cut off and isolated. I need to get out and about, That's the thing. After 3 or 4 days of being in isolation at home, I kind of like do need to get out, because I'm an extrovert with introverted tendencies. So I think it comes down to when you're having change in your life to start understanding yourself well. I've been to New York City twice and I hated it. Oh, you see, I like London in the UK. That's like my second home. And obviously London is really, really big. And so, yeah, if you hated New York City, I can understand, because you're the opposite to me. You're the same as me, but in the opposite way. So for you, being in a city makes you feel really bad and gives you negative energy and negative feelings and emotions. Whereas me, if I'm out in the countryside, I don't like all the open space. I don't like the fact there's no one there. I feel like exposed, vulnerable, kind of lost, kind of like, eek. It doesn't feel good. Too much open space. And I feel like I'm not seeing people, like what's going on. I feel like I am more of an alien in this world. Whereas when I'm in the city, like I live downtown city, if you know what I mean. So I don't live in the central city. I live further down near the quayside. If you look on a map, you'll see I don't live in the city. I live about 15-20 minutes away from the city centre. So I'm not right in the city, which is good for me, because I don't need to be right in the city. I prefer to be where I am now, because I've got, like I said, I've got access to shops very easily, like supermarkets and stuff very easily. I'm really, really lucky where I live. I couldn't have picked a better place, and it's when you make decisions, you don't know how they're going to turn out, but when you make them and you realise, like with the virus situation, like you made a good decision by where you chose to live. I think it gives you a lot more confidence and self-esteem that, you know, like, oh, you made such a good decision years ago for yourself that you've, you know, that you're now in a good place. Because there's a lot of people now that are just like, are they, you know, like if you live in the countryside, a lot of people that live in the countryside, they weren't able to get much food shopping because they had to go at certain times that suit them. They go in the shop, haven't got the food or toilet rolls, they've got to go again. You know what I mean? Whereas me, I can just walk across the road in different supermarkets and find out one that's got soap, one that didn't have soap, one that had toilet rolls, one that didn't. Sometimes I had to go to 3 or 4 shops, but just imagine if you lived in the countryside, come into the city, having to and there was nothing there. You know, you don't really want to be traipsing around 3 or 4 different shops. And you know what I mean? It's been quite difficult for people that have been more in countryside. But you know, everything has its reasons. And I think the really good thing about you, Wild Bill, is that you understand yourself. And that's what I wanted to say about this video as well, is that when you make change happen for you, you have to go through a process of reflecting on what you like about your life, what you don't like about your life, what you want to change about your life. And you have to take action to make it happen. And I think it's very good when you come to an understanding of yourself. Like, you understand that you're a country boy. I understand that I'm a city girl. Like, in a relationship, I don't want to be with someone who's a country boy because we'd be no good for each other. That guy needs to be out in the countryside. I need to be in the city. Unless it was a situation where I didn't mind being out in the countryside, but I want a guy ideally to move in my city, to live near me, but not with me. I want him to be just around the corner from me, so we're quite close together physically, but not actually sleeping in the same bed and not being in each other's space all the time. Because I love it here, specifically in my flat here. I'm used to living on my own. I enjoy it. And I work till like 4 a.m. sometimes, which isn't suitable if I'm with a guy who's got to get up for work at 7 o'clock in the morning usually. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't work out very well for them, really. So I think it's good that you found out about that and that you understand it. Like, when I go to London, I'm on the tubes, I usually feel at one with my soul. Like, I'm actually going to London for the first time after 2 years to see my best asexual friend on the 30th of August 2020. So not long now to go. 2 weeks today, actually. So I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, I haven't been for over 2 years. So that'll be really good for me. I don't know if I'd like to live in London because it's not very clean air there. Like, the smog gets up the nose when I come back home, and it's less personal than the city I live in. And obviously I do like the quayside because it is, you know, it's got some good fresh air there. And I can go places. I know where I'm going, and I've got everything around me, like the shops and supermarkets. But I have thought about living there in the future. But I think I'd probably rather commute, you know what I mean? Go there as and when I want to rather than live there all the time. I think, you know, like, living where I live is more personal. But, you know, I don't know. I see some of my business career going more towards London in the future. So I have to see how that goes, I think. But I love my flat specific here. I don't want to give this up just for some thing that might turn out okay when I absolutely specifically really love it. Like, I think in your life you have to keep what works and change what doesn't. I think that's very important. So when you're looking for to make change for yourself, it's very important to change the things that is actually causing you harm, pain, grief, upset, and do something positive about it. You know, the things that are working. Like, it took me ages to get this beautiful place. You know, I've lived in some horrible places where the guy's been beating his woman up. You know, like in a other, you know, flat or bed sit or upstairs, where there's been druggies in the home, where there's been violent, you know, other violence going on, you know, and it's taken me ages to get this gorgeous place I live in now. And that's why I'm so happy. You know, the people in the house lived here years. They're all working people. They're really nice people. You know, there's no trouble at all. It's very safe here, very secure. The flooring's very well soundproofed as well. You know, and I live around the back, so there's no one bothering me. Like, out the window, there's just like that car park underneath. So, you know, I'm quite secluded around the back here. I've kind of got my own little world going on. And that's what I love when I'm out and about. I think, I love being out and about, but I love to get back to my home as well because I love it so much, which I think that's very rare to get, actually. So I think if you've got something precious and special like that, it's worth holding on to. What kind of job you do? I work in a factory right now. I'm also an independent author, podcaster, YouTuber, and a former radio DJ. I'm an author. as you know. So predominantly I write books that change people's lives. So that's my Asexual Perspectives book, which is 47 asexual stories, love, life and sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm just about to get back to work on my Asexual Guide to Sex book, which is the next book coming out for asexuals, which has taken me over a year. So I took some time out to do the 2 courses. So I'm a course creator. So basically I'm an author, course creator, YouTuber. I do a lot of social media marketing as well. I do some affiliate marketing as well. Blogging. I do a lot of blogging. I've got 3 blogs. So I'm launching some new businesses this year as well, which has been very interesting, because one's called Erogenicity, which I'll be launching in a few months' time. And that's kind of a bit of the opposite stuff. So I'm basically on this show, I specialize a lot in dating and relationships. So I'm going to be doing a dating relationships coaching channel for everyone who has erogenous side to them or wants to bring out their erogenous side. Basically wants to have more passion, more sensuality and satisfaction in their dating relationship. So I'm going to be a dating because I'm basically a dating relationship coach for asexuals predominantly on here. So I'm going to be doing that on Erogenicity channel, which is going to be very, very interesting, because I'm asexual. I don't like sex, but I have an erogenous side with the guy's upper body and stuff. So I love kissing. I can kiss for up to 3 hours. I'm a hyper kisser. I love it. So yeah, so predominantly I'm an author. So I've got the fibromyalgia book that came out last year. I've also got a few other books on Amazon as well. So basically, yeah, and I have my own publishing company. So I'm an independent author, but I've got my own publishing imprint called Quirky Books. I'm a registered publisher in the UK under that name, fully registered. So you can buy my books in bookstores, my printed books in bookstores as well, wherever good bookshops are. So yeah, I'm an author. Don't do podcasting. I'm a YouTuber, and I used to be a hospital radio presenter for years. So when you say you're a former radio DJ, I used to want to be a professional radio presenter for absolutely years of my life, since 15. And then I changed my mind and decided in 2009 that my life purpose was writing and being a published author, and that I preferred writing to actually presenting on radio. So that's why I decided to pursue a writing career over radio. But I used to do hospital radio presenting for a lot of years of my life. Nearly 17 years of my life. I started as a teenager. I write fiction and poetry. Oh, right. Okay. So I don't write fiction. I write non-fiction. Well, technically I write children's books as well, but I haven't got any of those published. I haven't written anything for a while. So my books that are out are non-fiction, and that's what I specialize in, and that's what I always do. So writing non-fiction is definitely my life purpose and passion. Writing is my ultimate life purpose and passion. Second is asexuality and helping asexuals. I was a speaker at the UK Asexualise conference as well in 2018. So I'm basically an asexual entrepreneur, author, speaker, coach. I do write poetry. I've got an asexual poem on asexualise.com blog. On my other channel, I've done some poetry that's ad-libbed. And one of my friends really desperately wants me to write a book of poetry because they think it's awesome, because I blog on my Quirky Books blog, which I've been blogging for nearly 10 years now. November the 8th will be my 10-year anniversary, November the 8th, 2020. So quirkybooks.wordpress.com. I started that blog to find my writer's voice originally. And because, like I said earlier on this video, to make change happen for me rather than to me, it's something I felt in control of, when a lot of the time I felt out of control at that time in my life. So it's really good for that. And so I used to write poems on that quite a lot. I don't write so much poems now, but occasionally I do. And when I do, I usually get a lot of likes for them. So yeah, so I like poetry. So yeah, I do a lot of the same stuff that you do, but not all. Podcasting, like, I much prefer being on camera to being behind a microphone. Like, although I did radio for you, I've done work experience on radio stations, real radio stations as well. I've done PRS work as well and been paid for that. So I've done work in commercial radio stations, behind the scenes, voluntary work and paid work. But I've not actually, and I've had radio interviews. So I've been interviewed about asexuality on the BBC twice. radios, and I'm featured on 3 podcast interviews. They've interviewed me, so I do go on other people's podcasts. Just that I haven't got podcasts at the moment, and it's not something I really am into. Like, I love being on camera. I love YouTubing. It's my very favorite thing after writing books, really. So writing books and then YouTubing, but I do like doing training courses, but it takes me a long time to actually film everything and do all the in-depth training courses. So I run Asexualise Academy. I'm the founder of that. My 2 courses have just come out: Asexual Meetup Mastery and How to Arrange a Successful Online Asexual Meetup. So they've just gone live. They're on special early bird offer till Tuesday as well. So if anyone's listening to this, they're asexual, go and get them. One of them, the Asexual Meetup Mastery, has the other one included as bonus at the moment. So that's really good. So yeah, so you do a lot of similar stuff to what I do, Bill. Some exactly the same as me, obviously for different niches. But yeah. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah. And I also do t-shirt designing. Like, I design my own merch for Asexuals, but I haven't done that for several months because I'm focused on other stuff. But I've got 60 designs out on Redbubble Shop, which is the links below. So I literally create my design. To do a design takes an hour to 3 hours of my time. And I literally do the design from scratch. But the trouble is, I got so many people trying to copy my work on Amazon, for example, because I'm on Amazon Redbubble. And I just, like, you know what I mean? I spent like an hour to 3 hours. And Amazon, I complained before, saying, like, some people, they just, like, I know, because certain things, I just do certain marks on my work, and my work's unique. I create it all from scratch in my own software programs I've got. And so, they just copy it, and I think it's disgusting. And sometimes Amazon just lets them get away. And it's like, I don't want to spend 1 to 3 hours on a design with someone just coming in, deciding to just, like, copy my work all the time. It's rude. And I don't do that to other people, so it's not nice. They're very unique designs I created. But I got 60 out. That's quite a lot anyway to be going on with. And on Redbubble, they're on about 28 different items each. So it's like t-shirts, mugs, leggings, dresses, pictures, duvet covers, shower curtains, bath mats, just so many different stuff. So yeah, so I was doing that quite a lot, but I haven't done any of that for about 6 months or more. Because it's like you say, I've got a lot to get on with. I mean, the Asexual Meetup Mastery, that took me over 6 months to create that course. And I actually started filming for it last September, and we're in August now, the next year. So nearly a year to actually get it launched and published. And I've had to learn so many skills. Like, I've got I've had to learn copywriting skills to write the pages. I've had to learn the software I bought. I've had to learn how to utilize their software in ways that is not naturally allowed. So the software I bought to host my courses, it's not got an actual page builder. So you have to, like, kind of improvise and stuff with certain headers, and use different types of software as well. So, and I made flag bullets. If you see my Asexualise Academy, for example, Asexual Meetup Mastery, I managed to get asexual flag bullets, which took me ages to create. Like I was saying earlier in this video, it's like right now with the virus situation, there's like 2 different mindsets going. One is like scared, watching the news, frightened, not doing much with their life, panicky, surviving. And the other is like people who are thriving and flourishing. I mean, really, overall, my mind hasn't been great all the time, but overall, I'm thriving and flourishing. I've never ever learned so many skills. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, since 2012, so I've been learning a lot about other things like online business, making money online. I'm far from, like I want to be with that at the moment, but I'm still learning lots of skills for it and stuff. And I've had to learn so many skills just to get courses out. Like the header, the bullets, like different types of fonts, like pictures, how to put them into software that doesn't naturally have a site designer, how to get stuff on the checkout page. It's like it's a lot to learn. I bought email marketing course as well. Yeah, it's like a course, and thanks for the thumbs up. It's like a course and templates and stuff. So I want to write better newsletters for asexuals and for other people in the future, and I feel like I was getting a bit stuck with what to write for ideas. So I got this person who I paid for their course and template stuff. It's like a whole thing bundle in one, and they've got a degree in marketing, you know, and they used to work for a company that made billions of pounds. And I've got another copywriting book, and I got a whole copywriting course I went through, which took me ages, by a really well-known copywriter. This is one of the best in the world. So I learned that, and these are all the skills I've been learning this year: sales funnels and just so many other stuff. So besides the asexual stuff I do on here, I've been learning loads of background skills, tons of them, you know. And so I'm like busy constantly, you know, like learning, developing, growing myself. And that's what I was trying to get through on this channel, about the concept of like two changes happen. Like either change happens to you from external sources, or change happens because it comes from within you. You make change happen for yourself, and the best type of change is when you make it happen for yourself, because you're more in control of your life then. You're more in your own personal power, whether that turns out great and it's wonderful and you got the result you want, or whether it doesn't, you know. And I have the attitude that everything happens for a reason. So, you know, regardless, for example, my Asexual Meetup Mastery course, you know, I've got 2 people who've bought that so far. That isn't like loads of people, is it? But at the end of the day, I've learnt like loads of skills through doing that. You know what I'm saying? I've learnt so many skills. And at the end of the day, do you know what I mean? Like the amount of stuff I've learned and the skills I've learned on that has been phenomenal. That's grown and developed me as a person. So even if you don't always get where you want to go in life straight away, and you don't always succeed in everything, or you don't get the result you want, or maybe you thought you want this result and you don't get it, you don't need to beat yourself up about it. You just understand that you learn lots of skills, and you understand the process. I love the process. I love the process of learning, developing, and growing myself, regardless of the outcome. So I'm always happy in that way. If all I was thinking about is I need to make X amount of pounds when I've done this thing and I don't make it, I'm just going to be hugely disappointed. But because I've learned more how to more quickly edit videos, how more to quickly put videos together, how to edit hours of video footage, how to put a course together, how to create the page and everything, how to create the header, how to use different software, how to, you know, like it's just immense. And I'm so grateful and thankful. I'm proud of myself. I'm damn proud of myself this year, particularly, you know. Wild Bill, that is so awesome. Well, I have to go, but good luck to you, and I'll stop by again when I can. Oh, lots of love, Bill, to you. Thanks very much for coming on the show. Appreciate you being here. Thanks very much for being open-minded with asexuality. It's lovely to have you here. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I think that's my cue to go now, people. A recap on this video, if you did miss it, it's like you can have 2 ways of change in your life. One is you have change from external sources. These are things that come into your life, like new situations, new people, new job, the situation with the virus situation, for example, plonked on your lap, you know, things like out of your control, external sources. Something new comes into your life, it's an external source, right? Or something new comes from within you. Change you make happen for yourself, and it's far better to make change happen for yourself and live in your own personal power. Push yourself through your fears and boundaries, develop and grow yourself as a person, and literally take control of your mind and tell your mind, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, right? And so it's much more healthier to make change happen for you than wait for it to happen to you. And remember, there are no failures in life, just less that we can learn from. So therefore, you can never fail, and life is really damn well good. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now. If you have already thumbs up, I really appreciate the thumbs up. If you haven't, please give this video a thumbs up if you found anything beneficial at all in it. Thank you so much to everyone being in chat. As always, I always thank everyone who's in chat. It's very important that I appreciate all my viewers here, which I do. So I'm just going to go through them now. Thanks so much, Liam. I know you've gone now, but I really appreciate you being here. Thanks, Nick. Lovely to see you again, as always. Lots of love, Lewis. Thank you so much for being here. You've been a great contributor tonight, Lewis, as well. And lots of love, Ace Man, Richard Howard. Lots of love, Wild Bill. And lots of love to everyone else that's been watching. I appreciate you being here. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. And I'll see you on the next video live stream. Take care. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Lots of love.